beautiful 3D animation for us here, produced by our own team of Dean and Emma Wright. Brilliant.
Absolutely. So yeah, Ferrari, number of updates on the car this weekend. Probably the biggest update for anyone, the most important one, is the new front wing that we have on the Ferrari. So if we just swing this video around, you can see the existing wing. Obviously it's the new shape wing for this year, and Ferrari have changed it in a couple of quite important little areas. So first of all, here we can now see how the new wing compares with the old wing. So we can just see the shape there. So a couple of big changes. The first one is you have an extra slot here just above the IIR logo, and more slots in the wings mean that the shape can be more aggressive. You can create much more downforce with this area, so that's quite important.
But why wouldn't they have done that initially then, if it's an obvious thing? More downforce, more... Because
the front wing only has to balance what you can produce at the rear, so maybe now the rear end of the car, because there are some other updates on the car, as we'll see, with the floor and what have you. So maybe they now need slightly more front downforce to balance what they're producing at the end, and it's just a part of the progression that you have.
That's what you call development, isn't it?
Exactly. The other thing is something that we've spoken about very much over the past few years, what we call the outwash shape of the front wing. So on the old front wing, you can see that the wing actually goes quite far out on the left here, as it goes out towards the outboard section on the right of the picture. It's quite a wide wing, and it doesn't angle out much around the front tyre. When we go to the picture on the right here, and again look at the outboard section, you can see the wing actually appears a bit narrower at the front. But what that means is that the wing is then curving outwards much more around the tyre and throws more air around the front tyre, and this helps keep the turbulence that comes off of the front tyres away from the rear of the car, which actually makes the rear end of the car's aerodynamics work much better. So the front wing is very influential on what happens at the back of the car.
So what the team have done here, it's that angle there. You can because you can see more of that final tunnel.
So you can actually see the curvature of the wing around the tyre is much greater.
And the change in profiles there is because of that narrowness they're trying to get.
It is.
Yeah.
This outboard section isn't really creating downforce, it's all about shaping airflow. So you can afford to actually lose some wing width in this area to create better airflow further back down the car. So if we now just go and actually have a look at the whole wing on the car, you start to see that sort of outwash shape much more. We just roll them round, there we go, and we just stop there. You can now see the full effect. So you've got this outboard areas pushing airflow out around the tyre, and the inboard section, which you can actually see the curvature above the Shell and the Santander logos, much more aggressive, and this is creating another airflow which they call the Y250, and that again goes inside the rear wheel, out around the car, and keeps this dirty front tyre wake away from the rear area of the car.
And here we are glibly talking with this beautiful 3D animation. How many actual engineers would have been involved in just doing that change that you've just described there at Ferrari?
Well, this is a massive change. So the Ferrari Aero department must be numbering well over 200 people. They had a large team working on the front wing alone. And Ferrari had 4 of these wings available at the Grand Prix. Now, it's hugely complex pieces. It's almost a completely new wing. So they've had to have people design, then manufacture the moulds, put the carbon fibre in the moulds, take it out, trim it up, bond everything together. And this is only the 3rd race of the season, only 4 weeks into the season, and they've got a significantly different front wing. This is a huge effort from Ferrari, shows how serious they are this year. And as you can see, it's really paying off for them.